My grandma would probably disown me if I served her a dumpling shaped like this. And honestly, most traditional Chinese people wouldn't accept it either. In our minds, a dumpling should always be tender, plump, and perfectly pleated. Not to mention those sweet dessert fillings made of fresh fruit or Nutella. Oh my god, the older generation would have lost their minds. It's exactly like how Italians feel when they see the pineapple or durian pizza. But hey, when it comes to how a dumpling should be eaten, we Chinese people don't even have a unified answer ourselves. Hi, I'm Stella, and today we are going to explore legendary traditional Chinese holiday food, the dumpling. How did a simple pinch of dough conquer the culinary world? However, you don't need a massive holiday to enjoy it anymore. While some treats stay strictly seasonal, dumplings have graduated from a New Year's Eve luxury to a Tuesday night comfort food. But ironically, this ultimate symbol of celebration didn't start in a festive kitchen. According to lore, 2000 years ago, it was invented on a freezing riverbank as a medical remedy. Legend has it that Zhang Zhongjing, a master of traditional Chinese medicine, noticed the many suffering villagers with their ears literally rotting from frostbite. Heartbroken, he boiled mutton, chili peppers, and warming herbs, chopped them up, and wrapped them in dough shaped like human ears. He handed out this steaming ear healing soup, and amazingly, the villagers' frostbite healed. To remember his kindness, people started mimicking those little ears every new year. From there, the dumpling went on a 2,000-year evolution. It started out swimming in soup alongside wontons, but centuries later, it became a joy-served dish in its own right. By the time, it evolved into the shape of ancient silver ingots. Eating them became a way to wish for wealth. And because eating them at midnight sounded exactly like the ancient phrase for the turn of the new year, this tiny ear-shaped remedy became the ultimate symbol of Chinese family reunion. Today, dumpling shapes are on a whole new level. In northern Chinese homes, the most popular style is the squeezed dumpling. You just put your hands together, give it a firm squeeze, and bam, done in 2 seconds. This style has a fat belly and smooth edges, meaning it can survive a chaotic rolling boil without breaking. If you're making pot stickers or pan-fried dumplings, you will usually see the crescent moon shape with pleats on just one side. The flat bottom sits perfectly on the pan, creating that golden, crispy crust we all crave. For steamed dumplings, things get fancy. There's the phoenix tail or wheat ear shape with intricate zigzag pleats, and the four-joys dumpling, which features 4 open pockets filled with different colored ingredients. Compared to some Western dumplings, the visual contrast is quite dramatic. Take Italian ravioli. It uses 2 flat sheets of pasta to sandwich the filling, cut into perfect squares or circles with a zigzag wheel. It's all about geometric symmetry. Speaking of which, many people think Marco Polo took the dumpling from China and turned it into this, but history says nope, they actually evolved independently. It's like 2 different culinary universes solving the exact same problem: how to pack deliciousness into a pocket of dough. Underneath that wrapper lies a literal map of Chinese food culture. Traditional fillings are all about balance and eating with the seasons. In the north, the absolute holy trinities are pork with cabbage and pork with scallions. Fun fact, cabbage sounds like 100 wells in Chinese. And hey, who wouldn't want a little extra good fortune? But a beautiful meaning means nothing without the perfect flavor. To get there, ideally, the meat sits at 70 to 30 lean to fat ratio, stirred clockwise with a scallion and ginger infusion until it's juicier than a gossip column. Then there's leek and egg, which sounds like long-lasting wealth, making it a holiday staple. Regional specialties are even wilder. In northeast China, pickled cabbage with pork cuts through the grease beautifully. Along the coast of Shandong, they make Spanish mackerel dumplings by beating fresh fish into a fluffy paste that tastes as smooth as tofu. But modern fillings, total game changers. Fancy restaurants wrap fresh sea urchin inside, making it melt in your mouth like a shot of pure ocean sweetness. There's even a fitness trend featuring low-fat chicken breast with sweet corn and water chestnuts. The crunch of the water chestnuts perfectly saves the chicken from being dry. And for the ultimate East meets West fusion, some young people are stuffing mozzarella cheese into beef dumplings for that epic cheese pull, or packing them with spicy crawfish for a crazy night market flavor bomb. When these epic fillings meet the dough, it triggers a showdown between ancient craft and modern tech. Making dumplings by hand is pure muscle memory. A pro grandma can pinch one together in literally 2 seconds, creating that perfect chewy texture with a thick center and thin edges. For decades, cold steel factories struggled to replicate this gentle human touch. Early machines just pumped meat into a sad dough tub, turning out thick edges that taste like cardboard. But today's biomimetic machines are genius. They roll the dough gently to keep the gluten intact, while silicone mechanical claws mimic human fingers to fold and press them perfectly, finally giving factory dumplings their big bellies back. They're then immediately flash frozen at -40 degrees to lock in that fresh off the stove taste. And before shipping out, an AI-powered X-ray scans every single bag, instantly ejecting any dumpling with so much as a stray hair. Once the dumplings are cooked and floating, they face 2 completely different destinies, depending on where they land in China. If you're in the north, you will see them scooped out dry, stacked high on a massive plate. Everyone huddles around, holding their individual dipping bowls mixed to their exact garlic and vinegar ratio. In the north, dumplings are the ultimate headliner in a feast. Or when you just want to take it easy, you don't need any side dishes. You just feast on piles of dry dumplings and call it a perfect meal. And when you're done, it's a tradition to drink a bowl of the hot, cloudy water they were boiled in. We call this 原汤化原食, meaning what begins in the broth is balanced by the broth. But in the South, where rice is the king, dumplings often wear a different hat. While they can still be a meal, you'll frequently see them served as a comforting dim sum, an afternoon snack, or the ultimate midnight comfort food. There, dumplings become a solo comforting meal, swimming in individual bowls filled with a steaming fancy bone or chicken broth. This is because delicate southern wrappers are much thinner, and floating them in broth is a brilliant way to keep them perfectly whole and juicy instead of sticking together on the plate. It's basically borrowing the elegant etiquette of eating wontons, brothy, perfectly portioned, and super comforting. The finest part is what happens when Chinese dumplings go global and face the ultimate wild food experiments. While Europe has its own ancient independent dumpling traditions, modern food fusion has blurred all the lines. In regions like Eastern Europe, dumplings get completely smothered in sour cream. Hot-made dumplings get a massive pat of butter, followed by a giant dollop of cold, thick sour cream and a mountain of fresh dill. Sounds like a dairy nightmare, right? But in Eastern Europe, this ice and fire combination is pure magic. The cold, tangy sour cream perfectly cuts through the rich, juicy meat. Over in North America and Western Europe, some internet home cooks treat them like Asian ravioli. They give dumplings the ultimate pasta treatment, toasting them in basil pesto, drowning them in marinara sauce, or smothering them in mozzarella to bake a dumpling gratin. In Southeast Asia, things get beautifully spicy. They welcome dumplings into their own flavor universe, serving them in hot and sour tom yum, or deep frying them to a crisp and drizzled with a thick nutty peanut satay sauce. But if you ask me, the crown for the wildest creation goes to the desert dumplings. Poland and Czechia love stuffing dumplings with fresh strawberries or blueberries, serving them with sugar and cinnamon for afternoon tea. Some trendy fusion joints even serve deep-fried molten chocolate dumplings, stuffed with Nutella, topped with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. And if you slide into the chaotic energy of global night markets, you will find dumplings deep-fried until they are as crunchy as French fries, dusted with cheese powder, and served on skewers with a side of mayo. From a humble bowl of medical soup by a frozen river to the North-South debate over soup versus dry, and finally to the crazy fusion variations across the globe, this tiny pouch of dough has shown incredible versatility. But the real reason dumplings are the ultimate soul food for so many Chinese families isn't just about the flavor, it's about the vibe of making them. In a Chinese home, making the dumpling is just as important as eating it. Cooking a regular stir fry is usually a lonely job for one person in the kitchen, but making dumplings is an all hands on deck family event. The whole operation moves from the cramped kitchen right to the middle of the living room table. Everyone's hands are busy, everyone's making eye contact, and old family stories or life updates just flow naturally in that relaxed, low pressure atmosphere. It's a beautiful excuse for a scattered family to just sit together for a couple of hours. Moreover, during New Year's Eve, many families in northern China add a playful twist to their dumpling making. They'll secretly hide a clean coin or a peanut inside a few random dumplings. Whoever bites into one is blessed with an upgrade of good luck for the coming year. Of course, if you want to try this at home but worry about hazard, you can easily swap the coin for a hard fruit candy instead. Whether it's the excitement of this festive lucky dip where someone finds a hidden coin or candy, or the deep cultural tradition of serving dumplings to someone before a long journey, the love and blessings are quite literally pinched into the dough. So, to a Chinese person, no matter how precise the factory assembly lines get, or how luxurious the global toppings become, nothing will ever replace the magic of sitting down on New Year's Eve, hands covered in flour, eating those imperfect but piping hot homemade dumplings with the people you love. Food always tastes better when shared. Drop a comment and tell me what's that one dish that instantly brings your family together. Thanks for watching. I'll be here to unlock more interesting Chinese culture for you. If you want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.